UNLV still on the forecheck. They're looking an awful lot better in this third period of play. As we're officially back live on YouTube, we apologize for the technical difficulties there. You didn't miss much. It's obviously still 1-0 in favor of UNLV with just under 13 minutes to go. Justice Thopoulos had the best scoring chance just a few moments ago. Firing one from a left wing boards just wide on the blocker side of Dmitrio Kabritsky. So now we play on. And that pass is fanned on. Now here's Heath Mensch, 1-on-2. Misplays the puck, and Ukele says thank you very much and plays it up ice for GCU. It's stopped up on the backhand for Mensch, and now UNLV surveying with just over 12 to go. Once again, Jackson Wyatt with the go-ahead goal and the only goal so far tonight. With 1 second left in the second period. As DiMaggio gets stopped up in the neutral zone, and it's a foot race. Doug Wakeland out to play it and steers it around the wall for Backel, who lets it go past him for Heath Mensch. Now Mensch dropped off for Johnson, tried to feed it to DiMaggio, joining the rush. No joy for the Rebels. Joey Carollo is back to find that one. And pick it up in stride, and the reverse ice from Mario DiMaggio.
And you like to see the defenseman jumping into the play. Obviously, Bryce Johnson not getting the puck into Mario DiMaggio, but still a good play. Still like to see the defenseman coming down on the rush. And a goal at this point for UNLV would kind of almost seal the deal, if you will, but everything to play for with 11-10, just off the angel number 11-11 here in the third period.
Like that we keep the angel number tradition going. Started a few years back.
Always got to bring it up.
As UNLV wires that one in, and it hops over the stick of Baker. Here's Asher White's now below the goal line. Tries to feed it off the side of the cage. He does. And that gets knocked off of his stick. Luke Baker with it. Now Strong. Centering try. Doesn't get to Tristan Rand clean, and he gets spun around down low. Peltier loses the puck. Strong now gets bumped off by Peltier, and it gets sent off the wall and soccered along by Nagra to keep the zone. Now Nagra with it again off a feed from Rand. Shot, and it gets deflected aside by Owen Hansen. Now Hansen played up ice. Now UNLV in their own end as we approach a 10-minute mark halfway through the third. Still 1-0 in favor of the Skating Rebels. Once again, Jackson Wyatt scoring the go-ahead goal with a second to go in the second period. Evan West with it now. Up top, Siegel with a drive, blocked in front towards the broadcast center, and Kuntz will take it down low, and he gets canceled out, and that gets soccered along by Siegel, and here comes Surchik 2-on-2 for the Lopes. Surchik now on the right wing boards. Shot from inside, a sharp angle. Saved by the chest of Wakeland. Will hold for a whistle with 9:33 remaining.
GCU, a couple good scoring chances back to back. Obviously, Doug Wakeland getting the puck again around the boards. But at the same time, GCU kind of starting to pick it up a little bit here just past the midway point of this third period. And going back to Gabritsky for 1 second, you know, obviously letting in the one-time goal by Jackson Wyatt. But as you said, Dom, very good game from him nonetheless. Has done a really good job on the shots that he's faced.
A shot from way up top of the point off the faceoff. That was Ukele. It didn't look like Wakeland saw it. Loose puck out in the slot. Everyone whacking at it. And Masick finds it. And that was Corolla, rather, who plays it to Masick on the half wall. And now Dylan Gordon starts it out and plays it off the kick plate. Into the zone now, and here comes GCU trying to start it out. A bit of a wild feed there, but nonetheless, they get a breakout going. Jacobsma plays to the left wing. Boards for Layden offsides with 9:03 to go.
A really good job by Jacobsma there. Kind of dangles through. Unfortunately that it's offsides, but still GCU showing fight in this third period, and they still believe that they can tie and potentially win this game in these latter stages.
Face-off won by GCU. They can't get a clean dump in, but they gain the zone anyways, and it's played down low. GCU still trying to make their home below the goal line in the UNLV offensive zone. Niagara's being hounded by Antelopes. That gets chopped up out of the zone, but stopped up by Thomas. And Niagara now under siege. He shakes off one check and skies it off the glass down the length of the ice. McIntosh can't settle it down. He can't poke it through either. Trying to get around Thomas. Here comes Nolan. Or Dolan rather, fed on net, and Wakely makes a save, 8:16 to go.
And you still like to see Nolan just get a shot on net. Anything can happen at this point. Kind of does a little spin move past the defenseman. And any shot is a good shot, I think, for the Lopes here. And as well as your point, you know, trying to make their home in the crease or the high-low plays. We've kind of not seen that in this third period so far.
UNLV starting it out. Here comes Backel with it. A shot from way outside off a kick plate and chopped at by Trichler into the net for a stoppage play. Thought we were going to get a souvenir there for a second.
It was awfully close. I mean, there is a gap.
There is a
very
little
small gap.
It has to be stopped perfect by the net. It can't bounce off the net and back out like it did. It has to kind of get caught, fall, and then it's kind of anyone's game. Whoever wants to get it. Backel with a drive off the faceoff dot. Pad save, and he gets laid out by Nelson for his trouble. And Backel with it again. Gets bumped once again. That's dug free by Nelson. That gets directed into the zone by Jackson Wyatt. Now Huffer with it. Touched on in the middle of the ice, out of the reach of Nelson. And Trichler with the shot, sticked away, loose puck out in front, a big time hit out in front. That was Corolla who got absolutely waylaid out in front by Ricky Nelson. And the puck goes out of the zone. Now Ukele on the tape at the blue line for Oakland and into the glove of Wakeland. 7:15 to go.
And UNLV's kind of made it their living in this game on the faceoffs. You know, we did talk about GCU being dominant in the faceoff dot, but UNLV doing a really good job. You know, they have those set plays. Obviously, a couple shots from Siegel, and you know, they've had some really good chances off the faceoff, and I think as the game's progressed, it's kind of flipped the ice in terms of those faceoffs.
We're back underway with another faceoff. Tristan Ram with it. Directs it out of the zone. Strong in the backhand, lifts it to neutral ice. Rans with it again. Tristan Ram with speed, splits the defenders, and can't get a stick back on it. Carollo touched on for DiMaggio, looked off sides, and it's finally called off sides. I was wondering when that was going to happen there.
Kind of a late offsides call, just barely offsides.
The faceoff's going to come just outside the UNLV offensive zone. Strong wins it towards Thomas. And GCU dumps it in deep. UNLV comes away with possession. Piston crossovers for White. Soft sides again on the Rebels. Luke Baker does not look too happy for that one.
And that was a speedy rush. I wouldn't be too happy either.
Very speedy. I would be pretty upset with that as well, but for the second straight face-off, it's going to be just outside the UNLV offensive zone. Caleb Strong digs in against Jacobsma. And that's won by Grand Canyon University. Back to Thomas. Swings it D to D for Peltier. Bit of a different look for Grand Canyon University on the blue line. Danny Roy mixing up the pairings late in this one. We have another whistle and a stoppage for an offside. So 3 offsides back to back to back.
I mean, there's been a I'm not surprised. There's been a lot of stoppages in this game.
Yeah, this one's kind of
regardless.
dragged on a little bit. At least from my vantage point. It's been a long day already.
I'm with you on that one.
They're back underway. Mason Kelly was trying to work that one free from Peltier. Here comes GCU now. In the zone, up top. Thomas loses it in his skates, and that's barely offside. So GCU's going to have to tag up with 6 minutes remaining in the third. Once again, the lone goal belongs to Jackson Wyatt with a second to go in the second period. Feels like forever ago at this point as Hayden Siegel sends that one in. We have a big-time collision in the neutral zone. That was Dolan and Kuntz coming together. No arms raised on the official for either side. Kelly with a pickpocket. He's trying to dance through. Kelly looking to Siegel in the slot. Tries to feed one on. Doesn't get there on the backhand. Kelly turns one on. Blocker save. Kubritsky. And they'll just stick the blocker on it and hold for a whistle. So Mason Kelly still looking a bit labored as he gets off the ice there.
And that line, Siegel, Kelly, and West, they've been kind of clicking in this game. Obviously, they've probably ignited some of the momentum. And, you talk about Kelly once again just getting that turnover and causing a scoring opportunity.
That puck gets skied past the broadcast camera and the operator, Rolando Guerrero. We play on. Charlie Masick can't play it off the kick plate behind his back for Stathopoulos, and GCU's going to push it up ice. Now in the corner, a couple bodies collide. And now fight for the puck behind the UNLV goal. Fed up top for Chichler at the half wall. He plays it back down low. Oakland up top for Chichler. D-to-D. Legowski, he fans on his shot and gets tripped up, and we have a delayed penalty now upcoming on UNLV, and they touch up. Kubritsky couldn't get to the bench for the extra attacker, so it's going to be a tripping call being assessed to Ryder McIntosh. So GCU with 4:51 remaining in this third period, down a goal with an opportunity to maybe tie it on the power play here.
Well, we've said it twice. I think we can confirm that this is the most pivotal power play.
So Grand Canyon University takes their timeout. .451 remaining. I'm interested to see what the look of this Grand Canyon University power play is going to be getting to the late stages of this game.
And I like this timeout taken by the GCU coaching staff. Kind of get your plays drawn off the chance that you either don't win the faceoff or you do win the faceoff. But you have a play. I'm sure they practice faceoffs for this very moment, especially on the power play. And I think GCU just needs to go back to behind the net, kind of getting it in front of the crease, and those quick shots that was working, earlier in this game.
Well, we're about to find out, Kyle.
That's the beauty of hockey.
So once again, Ryder McIntosh going for a trip. 4:51 to go. GCU with another look at the power play at a critical point. Maybe the most critical point of the game up to this point. Saying point a lot here. Now at the point, GCU getting it started. Moving on in from the Donis. Blocked in front by Carollo, the captain. And here he comes, dragging Mason offsides, but puck dragging and killing a little bit of extra time. It's already 20 seconds gone, and they'll airmail that one down the length of the ice and over the stick of Ukele, who has to settle it behind Dmitro Kubritsky. On the tape for Jacobsma with speed over the red and the blue lines. Fed up top to the point and misplayed down low, and on the half wall steered away to the open ice now. Moving on in from the slot. Shot there, loose, and it looks like they scored for a moment, and Mario DiMaggio not happy. That's Dolan. The GCU bench thought they scored, and the official behind the cage immediately waving that one off. So a bit of a scare there for UNLV with 4:05 remaining
But that's what GCU has to do. You have to get those traffic. You have to get the traffic in front, as it almost worked for him there, and just stick to that game plan aspect of the game.
So the faceoff is now going to come outside the offensive zone for GCU. A minute 15 and counting now remains on the power play for the Antelopes. UNLV sends that one down the ice. Now here comes Thomas with it. Thomas with support on his wings. He diverts it to the left. And that gets sent into the zone. On the opposite wall is Hansen, who sends it right back around the wall. But out of the zone, Thomas is going to have to recover with under 50 seconds to go. Jacquette steers it in. And it's steered around the wall, stopped up by a pair of Antelopes. And that DDD pass is cut off, but not cleanly. Sophopoulos possibly having a breakaway if he got that clean on the tape.
Almost catastrophic for GCU right there.
Now here's a foot race. Mason Kelly gets on that with about 15 seconds and counting left on the PK for UNLV. Once again, that was Ryder McIntosh for a trip. And now GCU looking to get maybe one more rush going, and it's not clean. Bouncing puck in the neutral zone. UNLV is back to full strength. And that's skied down the length of the ice. Heath Mensch is there. Kabritsky plays it around. Get the pressure from Mensch. That goes off an official and kept in the zone. Backel to the hash marks for Johnson, who shoots one way up into the netting for a whistle. And there's the puck.
And you like to see the forecheck still this late in the game, obviously 1-0. You like to see the forecheck from the Rebels, and Heath Mensch causes pretty much what was, in essence, a turnover for the Lopes, and they have to get in the lane and block the shot up in the netting.
So now 2:28 to go. The question is, when does GCU pull the netminder down a goal? Utah didn't pull the netminder last weekend. Now here's Trichler. Gives it off to the left wing. That play is cut off, and UNLV steers it out of the zone. We'll see if that's going to be an icing. We see the arm raise on the linesman, and it is an icing. So an offensive zone draw coming up for a GCU with 2:10 to go.
And I would not be surprised if they do win this faceoff, either on this or the ensuing rush, if UNLV happens to clear, that we see the goalie pulled for GCU. I would not be surprised.
Within the next minute,
I would say
certainly.
yes.
Kabritsky is still in the net. As we approach the final pair of minutes in the third period. UNLV still up 1-0. Jackson Wyatt scoring the go-ahead with a second to go in the second period. Wakeland's out to stop it behind his own cage. Backel plays to the open ice for Bryce Johnson. 2-on-3. Johnson dips the shoulder on Peltier and gets steered to the corner. And Johnson finds the loose puck. He looks. Centering try. Siegel can't get it clean on the tape. A good try for Hayden Siegel to get to the soft part of the ice. Here's Jackson Wyatt with it. Moving to the slot. Moving on in. Shooting one off the crossbar, it looks like. Jackson Wyatt looking for the second of the night for him. And the insurance marker for the Rebels. 80 seconds ago, we play on. There's Siegel up top for Kuntz. Kuntz skates the line, shoots one through traffic, blocked in front by Dolan. Bouncing puck in the slot, settled down by Dolan and lifted into the neutral zone. GCU getting a few fresh players on to the ice as we approach the final minute. And Wyatt sends that one on. Then it bounces off the paddle of Kabritsky. 1 minute to go in the third.
And Kabritsky still in his net.
50 seconds to go now. Still Kabritsky in the blue paint. He's not coming out, it looks like, as we hit the final 3/4 of a minute. And that shot from Thomas misses the net wide. And that shot goes off the pad and into the pads of Wakeland. A hold for a whistle. 34.7 to go, and Kabritsky leaves the blue paint.
And I think that's a good call by GCU. Kind of would have liked to see him pulled a little bit earlier because they did have that zone presence there. But I think this is the smart move. Get six fresh skaters out on the ice for the Lopes. And now you have just over 34 seconds to tie this game up.
6-on-5. Offensive zone draw to the right of Doug Wakeland. As Kyle mentioned, under 35 seconds and counting to go now in this third period of play. And now we're under the final half minute up top. GCU working a shot from the point. Knocked down in front, settled down by UNLV and played just towards the blue line, but kept in the zone by GCU. Down low, swung out to the slot. No joy. Loose puck out in front. Everyone knifing at it. No one can get there. Here's Thomas now. And that gets directed out of the zone. Under 10 seconds to go. Sent back in towards the net. Under 5. And hey, what do you say? UNLV survives GCU 1-0, and maybe the tightest checking game of the season so far.
And I think if you're GCU, I think you have a lot to look forward to tomorrow. Obviously not getting the win, but at the same time, they took it to UNLV. They played a very physical game, obviously some hiccups there. And for UNLV, at the start of this game, GCU was taking it to them pretty much physically and at all aspects of the game. But UNLV, you see the fight. You see the determination that you have to have in order to win these close games like this.
So once again, UNLV thanks to Jackson Wyatt's goal with about a second to go in the second period. Good enough to propel the Skating Rebels to a Friday night win, 1-0, and for them to stay perfect on the year so far. So as Kyle mentioned, these two teams will go do battle once again tomorrow night, right back here at City National Arena, 7:20 p.m. Puck drop. It's going to be broadcasted right here on the UNLV Rebel Hockey YouTube channel. So on behalf of myself, Kyle Sparrow, Jack Bridges, Bo Kennedy, Rolando Guerrero, and everyone else here at the UNLV Skating Rebel media staff, we'd like to say good night. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow night.